Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We have a great webinar scheduled for today, and this is Commission Plans for Microsoft Dynamics GP. It's Advanced Commission by Ethotech. And just to kind of jump in and get started really quickly, I wanted to introduce who you've got on the call. We've got myself, Chelsea Schlepp. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing for Interdyne Artist. And we also have our marketing manager, Bailey Upchurch, and your two client strategy managers, Ashley Canali and Lisa Cummings, as well as Stephanie from Ethotech, who I'll be passing it over to in just a minute, and who's going to be doing the great webinar here for us. If you do have any questions throughout the webinar, we'll go ahead and answer those all at the end, but go ahead and put them in the question box on your GoToWebinar side panel, and we'll get to all of those. And then also, so you know, we're recording the webinar, so we will have that available on demand later as well. And lastly, one thing I just wanted to mention is our Vision 2018 conference. It's a GP and CRM user conference that we will be holding next month at the Ritz-Carlton, Uptown Charlotte. We'd love to have you join us. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can visit our website at interdyneartist.com/vision. You'll also get some contact information at the end of the presentation today, so don't hesitate to reach out to anyone. And with that, I will turn it over to Stephanie. Like I said, Stephanie is with Ethotech, and she is going to talk to you a little bit more about your advanced commissions.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everybody. Thank you to Interdyne Artist for having me this month and for featuring Commission Plan from Ethotech. I'm Stephanie Rasmussen. We hear time and time again the pain points that Dynamics GP customers have in tracking, calculating, and paying commissions. Many use complicated spreadsheets that take a ton of time to manage. Since Commission Plan is integrated with Dynamics GP, the look and feel is the same that you experience with your ERP software. And with your commission data integrated with your other financial data, you can avoid data silos, creating an accurate and dependable commission experience, therefore simplifying the process. For those of you in charge to administer commissions, you understand the pains in tracking who should get paid, especially if there are multiple salespeople or if you have commission split, a task that is time-consuming and difficult in Dynamics GP. What if you have different rates for different items or different rates for different customers and salespeople? If your company only releases commissions when the invoice is paid, reconciliation of paid invoices on a monthly basis can be a chore. And most important to many, report distribution to the salespeople. If you use spreadsheets, you understand how long it takes to copy, paste, save, email, copy, paste, save, email again and again. We'll cover all of these points as we take a look at Commission Plan from Ethotech. Today, I'd like to start with the end of the process. Whether you pay commissions weekly, monthly, quarterly, or a mix of multiple time periods for different salesperson types, say salespeople, managers, rebate recipients, closing the period for commissions will look like this for you. Now, because Commission Plan allows you to edit commissions after the sales order processing document is posted, different than how Dynamics GP works, you have to lock down the commission records to show that they've been paid out to the salespeople and so that they can no longer be edited or picked up for payment again. You do this using a process commission routine. Today, I'm doing my monthly routine for April commissions. The software can automatically create unposted GL, AP, or Dynamics GP payroll transactions, so it saves you time from rekeying the data to make the physical payment to your salespeople. Now, since my company releases commissions only after the stock document is fully paid, I'll use a date range based on the date document paid. If you want to further filter which commission records are picked up to be paid, you can use salesperson class, something we've added, or even salesperson ID. Say if you have a terminated employee that you have to pay right away. Even if you have a mix of salespeople on a document, some get paid when the invoice is posted, some get paid when the invoice is paid, some weekly, monthly, quarterly. Even on the same invoice or return, Commission Plan keeps track of each of their commission records and knows who to pay when. So again today, my company releases commissions only when the invoice is fully paid. So I'll use a date document range of April 1st through April 30th. Now I'll first preview so I can review what's about to happen. This is a bit like looking at an edit list for Dynamics GP. Now, while I'm doing this, think of the time in your monthly process that it takes to pay commission and compare to the process we're looking at now. So the first report you saw was just a quick overview of all the commissions in the process run. The second report gives you per salesperson ID, a total of their commissions. If you use an outside payroll service, you might use this report to report the commissions to your payroll company. And the third report is a summary report showing per salesperson ID, per invoice, what their commission amount is. Now, if you choose to print the report in detail, you can get per salesperson, per invoice, per line item. You can use these reports to review commissions, get approvals, or to make changes before you pay them out. Now, just a reminder, the reports you're seeing here are on the administration side of the commission process. We aren't to the salesperson reports yet. So after you process commissions, you can find an unposted transaction. In this example, an AP transaction tied to the vendor for you to continue with your normal GP process to relieve them by check, ACH, etc. After you process commissions, you can now easily distribute the reports through our reporting window. When you choose one report per salesperson and save it to a secure network folder, it opens up the ability for you to choose to email reports to the salespeople. Here you can create your email and quickly send one report per salesperson. You're able to make a subject, salutation, insert the body of the message. Now, if you remember the report when we processed commissions that had all the salespeople on one report, the report that the salesperson gets will page break per salesperson ID, so the salesperson only receives their information. So I'll go ahead and print those reports. They're saving to my network folder and automatically emailing. And luckily, now that all the reports are created and emailed, I get an exception report to let me know that some salesperson IDs don't have an email address. The reports are still on your network, so you can send them by hand, update the salesperson maintenance window with their email address, and they'll get them automatically next time. That's it. That's your new process to pay commissions to your salespeople. Now, that process took me 10 minutes to talk through. Imagine how fast it would be if you were just doing it in real life. Think about how that stacks up to your current process. So now that we did the end of the story, let's loop back around and see how we got there. I didn't mention before, but just want to note that when I refer to a salesperson, that can mean any entity that needs to have a calculation performed. So that could be a traditional salesperson, whether a company employee or outside rep or distributor. It could be a manager, a technician, etc. Now, many of you are familiar with the salesperson ID on the customer maintenance window of Dynamics GP. Commission Plan gives you an easy way to add additional salespeople for different reasons, so you don't have to touch each transaction to get the salesperson there. If you have groups of salespeople that always go together, you might attach them to the territory. Say a manager and a salesperson always go together. Now for customer errand fits, Paul will always receive a commission when an invoice is created for them. But in this additional example, Johnny will receive commission at the technician rate anytime that items in the service item plan appear on the invoice. And Nancy will get paid at the account executive rate schedule anytime the warehouse address ID is used. Now, if you pay rebates to your customers based on what they purchase, you would also just create a salesperson ID for the customer to track their purchases and automatically calculate their rebate amount. Now, similar to how Dynamics GP has item and customer class, Commission Plan uses item plan, salesperson plan, and customer plan to determine the rate. This method of grouping allows for easier maintenance because you're not handling everything on a one-to-one basis. Now, if I just drill down on Paul a little bit and look at his salesperson maintenance window. Now, what you're looking at is an alternate window because it does have quite a bit of commission data here. And so Paul will always get paid automatically under the account executive schedule for his customers, just as any other salesperson would get paid on the account executive schedule for their group of customers. Again, makes it easier to maintain if you're able to do them in groups. Now, while I'm here, again, this is Commission Plan's alternate salesperson maintenance window, where you can see the salesperson plan assignment, what type of transaction is being created for their commission, tied to a vendor record. Paul's getting an AP transaction tied to a vendor record, as well as the account distributions for commission payable and expense. His email address for report distribution is also stored here. So again, the flexibility of attaching multiple salespeople to a customer for various reasons saves hassle from you doing it yourself manually. So let's look at a transaction to see what's going on. So here's your typical sales transaction entry window. And under the covers, Commission Plan is pulling in the proper salesperson for various reasons. You can see here that Gary is attached to the territory, and he's getting paid under the manager rate structure. Johnny and Nancy are both attached through Commission Plan, Customer CP Info window, and Paul is tied to the customer and is on the SOP header. Now in Commission Plan entry, you can begin to see the audit capability of Commission Plan because the commission record is tied directly to the SOP transaction forever, something you don't get when using spreadsheets or SSRS reports. Now these are the commissions for all of the items on the document, but let me pick on Paul and drill down on him. So you can see here that Paul is getting paid for 3 line items on the invoice. 2 are at 4% of margin. 1 is at 5% of sale. Now there are quite a few different calculations that occur depending on your business rules. And of course, you can set items to have no commission if that applies. I'll go ahead and make it this item no commission as an exception for Paul this time around. Now, because I edited the commission record for Paul, there's now a checkbox in the manual area that lets you know that the commission was not system generated. Now, I talked earlier about how you're able to edit commissions even after the SOP document is posted. And that's also done through commission plan entry as well. Now, I've changed the invoice that we're looking at here. For this invoice, there's only Greg right now. I know that I can edit commissions because the commission status here on the right is anything but processed. If you remember, I said when you process commissions, it locks down the commission record. So I know that I can edit the commission because it's anything but processed. Not ready means that the SOP document is posted, but the payment has not yet been received, so it's not yet ready to release to the salesperson. And, just as a one-off scenario, Francine did some work on this document on this sale, so she gets some money as well. And so here I've added Francine, and you can see the salesperson from in the second column is manual entry, again, letting you know that it wasn't system generated. Now, I'll just scroll through some of the different commission records here. Here's a return. And again, you can see on the far right side that this one is processed, so I can no longer interact with it. I would have to create, this is a return, so a SOP invoice or some other type of document to edit those commissions. Now, in commission plan entry, you can add or remove salespeople, change the commission rate, the commission type, if you remember a percent of sale or percent of margin, or you can also change the commissionable sale and cost amounts if needed. Now, just to note that this is changing the commissionable amount, not the sales amount. Again, when you do that, you can see that there is a manual entry. Most customers who use commission plan are able to have all of the proper salespeople default with no manual intervention. Even if the software is able to add the salesperson 90% of the time, dealing with the 10% exception is a huge win for them. Now that all of the transactions are entered and the salespeople are on the invoice as appropriate, we'll cover one more area before we loop back around to the beginning where we started. Now, many people have adjustments to commissions that aren't necessarily tied to a sales order processing document. And the way that you would enter that is using the commission adjustment entry. In this scenario, Gary is getting paid a positive $1,500. Commission adjustments can be positive or negative. So he's getting a bonus this time for $1,500. Paul is getting a bonus for a positive $300. And the adjustment type just helps you sort down, kind of sort your data, and those are defined by you. Now, we have some customers who use commission adjustments to record draws, bonuses, or even a simple adjustment perhaps where someone got paid incorrectly. In this scenario, Johnny is a negative $100. Suzanne should have been paid for this, so it's a positive $100. And you're also welcome to comment the line items. And these sorts of adjustments appear on the commission report just as a normal SOP document, invoice or return appears. So now that all of the transactions are entered and the salespeople are on the invoice as appropriate, any adjustments have been entered, we're back where we started, at the end, where it's time to pay your salespeople. I can take some questions now.
Okay, we have a question. How does security work?
Security with commission plan is similar to how Dynamics GP operates. If people who use Dynamics GP should not have access to commission windows, you simply don't grant them access to those windows.
Okay, that was the only question we have at this time.
Okay, great, thank you. Now, commission administrators know the pains all too well. In a recent case study of one of our customers, they noted that commission plan was a lifeboat for their exhaustion. Commission plan allows you to easily determine who should be paid for given line items on a given document, including commission splits. It allows you to vary the rate based on the customer or item, salesperson making the sale. You can release commissions on your schedule, reconciling the paid invoices that you've received the month. And you can quickly and easily distribute reports to your salespeople. Again, cutting out all of that copying and pasting that you're used to right now. Now, what we went over today in Commission Plan, there are two different packages of Commission Plan. Commission Plan Keystone handles calculations like a % of sale, a % of margin per unit or flat amount. And Commission Plan Apex allows you to have more complicated and complex calculations. For instance, some customers have line item tiers. This would be used if your company varies the rate based on the commissionable sale amount or margin %. And so, for instance, on the line item itself, if there's a margin between 0 and 10%, the salesperson gets 2% commission. Or if the margin is between 11 and 50%, they get 5% commission. So again, the software is looking at the line item and its attributes to determine the rate. Another calculation that you could have with Commission Plan Apex would be quotas. Many of you are familiar with quotas, which is sales dollars over time. So what the software does, whether your quota is monthly, quarterly, or yearly, we just hold all of those sales documents in a bucket, and then at the end of the period, say monthly, determine where they are. In this example, $0 to $100,000 gets 5% commission, and $101,000 to $1 million gets 10% commission. So the rate is assigned at the end of the period. Now, Commission Plan Apex also has several other things that people love. If your company reduces commissions as the invoice ages, say, you give no commission after the invoice ages 120 days, the software can automatically take care of that for you and reduce the commission. If you'd like a complimentary review of your company's specific commission requirements, please let the Interdyne Artist team know. So thank you for attending the session today, where you learned that with your dynamic GP data and the power of Commission Plan from Ethotech, you can streamline your company's commission processes. Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone for joining. And again, here's the contact information for myself, Ashley, and Lisa. So if you have any additional questions, want any more information, or have any more interest, please feel free to reach out and we'd be happy to help you. Thank you guys all and have a great afternoon.